Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Aira Zalika from Group 9 and we will present the material titled The Student's Perception on the Characteristics of Effective and Ineffective English Language Teacher. For introduction, there are four perennial truths that make the teaching and learning processes possible to take place in the classroom. If one of these is not available, there will be no teaching and learning process, though the learning process itself may still take place. They are teacher, students, material, and context of time and place. Next is research questions. This research attempts to answer the following research questions. What are the students' perceptions on the characteristic of an effective English teacher? And what are the students' perceptions on the characteristics of an ineffective English teacher? The objective of the research is to describe the characteristics of an effective and ineffective English language teacher so that the English teacher can have a broad and wide knowledge to follow to be an effective English language teacher, as well as actions to avoid in order not to be an ineffective English language teacher. The respondents of this research are the students of English Education Department that have experience of having been taught by several kinds of English teachers. There were 20 respondents grouped into two groups to answer two different kinds of questions. As for the method, instrument, and procedure, this research employed qualitative method by applying coding of qualitative data. The main instrument of this research was data in the form of essay. The essays were collected from students. The data analysis was carried out by following the grounded theory procedure and technique comprised three steps: open coding, axial coding, and selective coding. Let me explain to you the key terms of this research. Coding is the process of examining the raw qualitative data, which will be in the form of words, phrases, sentences, and assigning codes or labels. The second one is open coding. They sweep through the data and mark by circling or highlighting sections of the text selected codes or labels. The third one is axial coding. Eventually, they have a large number of codes and they find it necessary to sort them into some sort of order or into groups. There are two common types of this coding, which is non-hierarchical and hierarchical. Non-hierarchical, for example, in the study, the researcher asked a group of adults how they take a break from their normal work. As for hierarchical, they can find that several codes grouped together as types or kinds of something. They need to put some of the codes or labels into a group of their own or make them subcodes.
Okay, I will continue the material. The next part is review of related literature. Anton Lee found out that there are 5 key factors that provide a foundation for a good teaching. First is teacher knowledge, enthusiasm, and responsibility for learning. Second is classroom activities that encourage learning. Third is assessment activities that encourage learning through experience. Four is effective feedback that establishes the learning processes in the classroom. Five is effective interaction between the teacher and the students, creating an environment that respects, encourages, and stimulates learning through experience. RCW 2012 conducted a research and showed the results that there were rival statistical significant difference in the participants' perceptions in favor of native English speaker teachers. All teachers do good things some of the time, and all good teachers do bad things some of the time. The differences among teachers lie not only in the proportions of the good and the bad, but also in their awareness of the effects of what they are doing and their readiness to share this awareness with their students. From the above previous findings, the researcher tries to find out the students' perception on the characteristics of effective and ineffective English language teachers. Okay, next is findings and discussions. The data of an effective teacher is categorized into the following. First, teacher's personality. In teacher's personality, there are pleasing, giving attention to her students, loving her job, being funny, being an understandable person, being calm, being helpful, being close to the students, being honest, being self-confident, being not conceited, being courteous to his colleagues, not easy to get angry, kind, being disciplined, being a nice person, not morally easy to be angry, patient, responsible, having a good attitude, being friendly, being straight, having a warm personality, and being perfect. Teaching performance. Among others, mastery of material is not merely using textbook and teaching method like not using old method, demonstrating experiments, showing authentic material, showing picture of the object, changing complicated subject into the fun one, formulating interesting techniques, encourage the students to speak English, not language expect English, explaining the lesson accurately, asking the students to find the difficult words. The teaching techniques were interesting, giving some English songs and giving common expressions to the students before the class over. The way teaching the students, among others, knowing how to appreciate the students, building the students' spirit, giving reward like money and etc., motivation the students, treating students like friends, never showed it, not making the students feeling nervous, supporting the students, encouraging the students, and calling the students with honey or baby. Next is classroom management. In classroom management, among others, making classroom funny and comfortable, creating enjoyable and relaxed class, solving the problem easily and effectively, applying many kinds of games, and bringing the students to study outside the classroom. Second is teachers' competence or professionalism. Among others, having in-depth knowledge about the subject or material, brilliant, having a wonderful ability, being smart, teaching the right answer, and can speak many languages. Third is teacher appearance. Among others, handsome, cute haircut, pointed nose, smiling face, good looking, having a clean skin, and being neat. From the data above, the following principles were taken out from the deep analysis in the form of essay for considering the characteristics of effective English language teacher as follow. First is having a good and pleasant personality that can make and create a good relationship with the students to have the material easily and comfortably. An effective teacher also celebrates his or her students' success by praising them. Second is showing an appropriate teaching performance that includes teaching method, material mastery, and teachers' behavior toward the material, and classroom management to cover all the students' needs in order to encourage the students to have a higher achievement of the subject. A good teacher should be able to consider the needs of the students and then decide on the right approach to be used in his or her classes. And the last is showing a good appearance does not always mean that the teacher should be beautiful or handsome, but he or she should show a nice looking to his students.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will continue the material. B. The data of an ineffective teacher in categorized into the following. First, unacceptable personality. Here there are 12. First, unfair. Second, boring and annoying. Third, bad-tempered. 4, scary. 5, unfriendly. 6, lazy. 7, having a bad attitude. 8, cheating. 9, like to tell revenge. 10 like to tell the student witness to orders. 11 indiscipline. 12 absent for the class without any information. Then unacceptable performance in the classroom. The bad way in treating the student. The first, not answering the student question. Second, judging the student by saying stupid. Third, scolding the student. 4, not like to be asked about the material. 5, refusing to be corrected. 6, not realizing his mistake. 7, only like or focus on the smart student. 8, not caring about the student misbehavior. 9, expressing bad utterances or expression. 10, making the student feel terribly insecure. 11, always sitting behind the desk in the classroom. 11, bringing forward to the personal problems into the classroom. 13, making the student as object of anger. 14, telling about his richness. 15, sleeping after giving a test or exam to the student. And then action concerning with the teaching method. Here there's some here. First, giving assignment without explanation before. Boring teaching method. No jokes or referencement in the classroom. No chance for student to speak. Bad teaching method, causing the student to become lazier. No discussion for the given assignment. Never check the student's assignment. Always giving dictation to the student using Indonesian language. Next, bad mother for the student to follow. First, coming late to the class. Second, selling copy of material to the student. Third, incompetent mastery of material. The first, unable to answer the student's question. The second, the explanation is confusing. The third, weak competence or incompetence. 4, lack of creativity. 5, always focusing on the next book. 6, unprepared lesson. 7, not knowing what to teach or not mastering the material. Here the classroom management. The classroom management is 5. First, getting busy with himself without considering the student need. 2, the second, creating a boring class. 3, lack of intrapersonal intelligence. 4, less attention to his students. 5, not knowing the student background. Next, 4, unacceptable appearance. The first, being sleep short and dirty. The second, not dressing neatly and cluttered. From the data before, the following principles were taken out from the deep analysis in the form of easy for considering the characteristics of ineffective English language teacher as follow. The first, having unacceptable personalities that can lead the teacher to the problem with the student. Second, incompetence. This includes material mastery and classroom management. If a teacher feels lack of these two elements, it is suggested to have more training because these are the most important thing in teaching. The third, having unacceptable or bad appearance. An English teacher should always show the good appearance because if he has bad appearance, it will attract the student concentration on judging the teacher. On the next slide, conclusion. The student perception on the characteristic of effective and ineffective English language teacher may vary. when thinking of an effective EFL teacher in general, one may list a number of features of characteristics. These characteristics can be sorted in a more specific manner when listing the qualities of an effective EFL teachers. As a matter of fact, the characteristic of an effective teacher will determine the success of teaching and learning process. So here we suggest it is suggest for the further research to have a deep investigation on student perception on effective and ineffective English language teacher by having different respondents to have more variable data.